There's an old saying, the healthy man has 1,000 goals. The sick man has one goal, and that's to be healthy. Now, health really is the greatest wealth. And in this video, I'm going to show you everything that I've learned from studying world-renowned holistic health coaches, the best people in the space that also look apart. I'm not talking about the dietitians that are unhealthy that write the diet books. I'm talking about people that are truly healthy, that have devoted their entire life to learning about health and wellness, holistic health, vitality, etc. Now, it's really the simple stuff that has a huge impact. Now, I'll share with you some advanced stuff as well, but it's really important to understand that really everything we're taught about health is completely backwards. Starting with the food pyramid. It's completely wrong. Grains are relatively fairly new to the human diet, and we're not meant to eat what the food pyramid shows. Now, everyone should have a unique diet. There's no one-size-fits-all approach based on your ancestral lineage. That's going to determine a lot about your diet. Now, I'm not going to dive into any details too much right now. We're going to start with the simple stuff, sleep. Sleep is a huge thing, and most people are completely bankrupt with their sleep. The keys to sleeping well is, one, to exhaust yourself in the day. Work really hard. Go work out at the gym. Go sauna and sweat. And you're going to find sleeping much easier. People say, oh, I have problems sleeping, but they don't do anything throughout their day. They go and they work their computer job, and then they come home exhausted mentally, but physically they haven't exhausted their body. You want to physically exhaust your body. Next thing for sleep is to sleep in a dark room. When you wake up, look at the sunlight, get early sun in your eyes, try and see the sunset. This is really one of those small things that makes a big difference in your life. And then that leads me to another point. See sunlight. Go outside. Despite what CNN has told us, the sun is not bad for you. The sun is one of the greatest things for your body. This is why in the olden days they had heliotherapy, where they would put patients out in the sun. The modern day medical system, the patients don't see sunlight for months, and they wonder why people are getting sicker. Now, there was a recent study released, and it was when doctors protested, there was actually a drop-off in death in the patients. Crazy. There's so much medical malpractice, and really in this world we're sold so many of these lies to get healthy, right? Think about Ozempic or this or that. The reason why so many people are so sick is really, it comes down to quite a factor. But the food supply, if you look at that, you go into a grocery store, 80-90% of it is poison. And the little bit of food that is there is sprayed with pesticides, rodenticides, atrazine, insecticides, fungicides. There's so much poison in our environment that is why testosterone rates are at an all-time low. That's why people are sicker than ever. So, sunlight. Go out and see the sun. Get good sleep. You should sleep in a room that is completely blackout, like to where if you hold your hand in front of your face, you can't see your hand. I have this great device. It's called Hatch. Despite them being a woke company, they built a good product. And basically what I have play at night, it's like campfire sounds. So all the small noises throughout the night don't really wake me up, and I'm able to sleep deeply. And then it's called a sunrise alarm. So the light gradually gets brighter before your alarm, and that helps you wake up naturally, just like your ancestors. Think about what your ancestors did before all the sickness and disease and illness came into the world, and go do that. Now, food, your diet should be dialed, right? People are so short-term sighted that they live in these time frames of like 2 minutes. What's going to give me the most dopamine in the next 2 minutes? And they live their whole day like that. So instead of thinking an hour from now, wow, if I go eat an organic meal of whole foods, I'm going to feel amazing for the rest of the day. No, they go to KFC and they get deep fried chicken, and then they don't feel good. Now, the crazy thing is, though, is that when you switch from eating toxic food to eating organic, healthy food, you're actually going to feel worse for the first week or two, most likely, not always, because your body actually has a chance to detox all of that stuff. So it's going to take all those toxins that's in your body, put it in your blood and slowly in your sweat and other detoxifying methods and get it out of your body. So that's another thing, is sometimes there is often a thing of taking a step back to take 2 steps forward, right? When you first implement a new habit, it might be a little bit difficult, but if you can look at your life from a longer time horizon and not be so short-sighted and living in instant gratification, you're going to change your whole life. So the basics: healthy, natural, whole foods, sunlight, good quality sleep, good relationships, exhausting your body during the day, right? Going and working out, sweating, getting in the sauna. The sauna really should be a non-negotiable in your life if you want to be healthy. There's so much toxins in our modern day environment that you have to figure out ways to get them out, which there are some amazing, more advanced biohacking technology, but really the huge things that are going to make a big difference are the simple things. So outside of that, going to bed, waking up with the sun. People have these terrible sleep schedules. You want to be up with the sun, and everyone's sleep type is different. There's a website called What's My Sleep Type? Basically, there are different archetypes within sleeping. If you think about a tribe evolutionarily, some people had to be really light sleepers so they could wake up and alert the tribe, hey, there's danger. Some people had to be good at getting really deep, restful sleep so they could be like the, workers or warriors of the tribe. So there's different chronotypes. Don't try and have a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, what else? Sleep. Water. Your body is 80% water, 99.9% by molecular structure. Most of our water, if you're drinking tap water, it's poison. They put all these pesticides. There's birth control in water. The water is full of so many toxins. And actually, the crazy thing about water is that it has more memory than the chips that they put in your phone. Crazy. Water can hold on, and there's a lot of science experiments and proof of this. I won't get into it. Water holds more memory than you can even imagine. So when water, I think on average, for example, Denver, Colorado, the water is recycled through the plant like 30 times. So it goes to tap water, people's toilets, whatever, down their drain, back to the water plant spot, and then it does that 30 times before they let it flow down the river. So the water is so toxic, and it also, if you're dumb enough to think that they can send Wi-Fi to, technology, but you don't think that vibration is real, water carries a vibe, call it. Water carries information. So if you're drinking low quality water, you're going to be sick. Get spring water. There's also devices. One I really like is from the Wellness Enterprise. It's called the Aqua Energizer, and it structures water. Right now, people only know about filtering water. 10, 20 years from now, it's not just going to be filtering that's important. It's going to be structuring. Structuring is what spring water is. It's naturally structured, but you send it through pipes and filters, it loses its structure. So quality water, quality food, quality sleep, getting sunlight, good relationships, detoxing, right? Getting all the toxins, heavy metals, parasites, things out of your body. Doing work you love. I think that's another thing. If you overall have a miserable life, you don't have a job you enjoy, that's going to show up in health conditions. Now, the world of health is huge. Posture, right? Sitting at your desk. If you have just a regular desk, you have a chair that's not ergonomic, you have a small monitor, that is difficult, right? Because your posture reflects your mental state. A lot of people have these rounded shoulders, this forward neck posture, and yeah, it's not good. So fixing your posture, going and doing rehabilitation, looking what healthy posture is, and then getting an ergonomic desk, a nice chair, a standing desk. That's huge. I know I'm ADHD mode, just jumping around. It's a mark of a highly creative person. You'll see they'll string all these different ideas together to where a very logical person goes from A to B to C to D to E. Highly creative people, they make all these abstract points and then they tie it together at the end. That's what I'm doing. Back to the light thing. There's this great company called Raw Optics. And if you think about it, your ancestors never really saw blue light past sunset. But now we stare at our phones, right in front of our face until we fall asleep. And then we wonder why not only it's hard to fall asleep, but the quality of our sleep isn't there. So this company makes amazing blue light glasses. And a lot of the ones on the markets are scams. You can tell because if they don't actually have a colored lens, it doesn't block blue light. So, if I had a blue light glass, I could show you, or a blue light, I could show you. You want to wear these at night when you're looking at your computer. If you do work, they have these colors. This is more through most of the time, and then these right before bed. This allows your body to actually produce melatonin. Melanin is what makes your skin dark after a tan. Fun fact, when you get tan, being tan's really healthy. It's good for your body. That's why we're naturally attracted to people that are semi-tan. Melanin, when you go through the airport, when you go through a stressful situation and you have a tan, the melanin in your body is used as basically to remedy that stress. So tan people get less stressed basically to a degree, or they have a better capacity at making sure the stress isn't harmful. Stress can also be a really good thing for your body. People say stress is bad. It depends on how you handle the stress, really. So health goes so deep. There's so much to it, but really the surface level stuff is hey, stop going to the grocery store and buying processed foods. The calorie thing is a complete psyop as well. Counting calories is the stupidest thing in the world. It does not make sense. And you'll just see these people on TRT that are like, oh, count your calories. Listen, calories is a measure of energy, right? It's not a sign of really what you're getting in your body. You need to be counting ingredients, how many ingredients are in the food, as well as what is the real nutrient density of the food, right? Just because you're eating 800 calories of inorganic food and processed beef that's, injected with all these, I won't get into that. Food is critical. Counting calories, complete psyop. You need to understand you should be counting the ingredients. So number one, I went and saw some family recently. You look at most people's refrigeration, it is again, if you go into the average household and you open up someone's refrigerator, it is no wonder why they are sick, 80 pounds overweight, on a bunch of pills, because in their food, they're eating stuff that has 80 different ingredients, all of which are, brought from farms and places that spray all the food with toxins and pesticides and rodenticides and insecticides and fungicides. There's so many toxins that's in the single ingredient that's artificial. And then they put all of this stuff in food. Your body doesn't even know what it's eating. So people eat disgusting food, but it's this way for a reason. I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories, but most people are sick for a reason. But most people don't even try in life at all, right? You go into their food, they couldn't be bothered to eat better. They couldn't be bothered to go to the farmer's market and invest some money into their local farmer and eat good food, right? They're so distracted by pleasure, instant gratification, and the misery of their life that they can't be bothered to not eat the sick, disgusting food in their refrigerator. It's convenience, right? You put your food in the microwave, your KFC corn pops. You put it in there for 60 seconds. You put some ketchup, some high fructose corn syrup. Sure, you got a meal, but you're going to be sick eventually, right? Probably with the disease 5 years from now. Sure, it may give your brain a quick hit of dopamine because they've hacked and hijacked your primal instinct of salt and sugar and made your dopamine really happy in the moment. But long term, you're going to get very sick from eating 80% of the food that's in the grocery store. It's crazy. And people will stay asleep to this. It's the whole matrix thing. Most people are asleep. They cannot be bothered to question things, right? So food's a big thing. Next thing that I mentioned, another idea, we'll have this be a whole health deep dive. Microwaves, another psyop. They destroy the quality of your food. You're putting your food in a nuclear reactor, basically. You're frying your food. If you look at the cells and the cell walls under a microscope before food goes in and out of a microwave, it's destroyed. So people will eat all their food in a microwave and wonder why they're sick. Now, the crazy thing about eating nutritious food that is actually nutrient dense, is that your body reaches satiation. I believe it's somewhere around 40 to 50% faster, meaning you have to eat twice the amount of that sick, disgusting processed food for your body to feel satiated, for your body to feel full, because it has such little nutrient density in it, right? But we're psyoped to count calories. Counting calories is a very new thing. And if anyone is telling you to count calories for your food, your personal trainer that's on TRT, he's a dumbass. You need to look at how many ingredients are in your food. Where is it sourced? Is it nutrient dense? Is it a simple organic whole food? And go from there. Now, there's so many people that, are drugged up and they go to the gym so they look semi-healthy, but you kind of look at their skin, you look at other factors. Deep down, they're really sick. A lot of fitness influencers that are really sick. A lot of people that are pretend healthy. They go and give health advice and then they put on sunscreen that has 80 different chemicals in it. If you would not eat it, don't put it on your body. That's a simple rule to live by, right? Your skin is the largest organ in your body. Where does all that sunscreen go? Does it just sit there and protect you from the sun and evaporate after? No, it gets absorbed into your body. The sunscreen that I use, it's from a company called Organic Jaguar. There's also a company called Schwally. There's many companies out there that make healthy sunscreen now with non-nano zinc oxide and very simple few ingredients. You have options. It's through sheer laziness and not being able to be bothered to question the narrative that we're sold, right? So people will rub sunscreen in their body that's full of chemicals and then wonder why they get sick or why they have all these health problems or skin conditions. So you really have to find people, especially in the whole health space, when there's all these health and wellness influencers, there's very few people that are actually competent and understand what they're doing when it comes to health. Because really you're playing with a loaded revolver here. You follow the advice from the wrong health person, you're going to get a massive hospital bill. You're going to get put on pills. The healthcare industry, as I'm sure you know, is pretty dang, how do I put this? Disgusting. So there's so much that goes into health. If you want to make $1 million, the number one thing you can do is get healthy. And there's a lot of people that make a lot of money that then, because they want to broaden their audience, they start giving health advice. I'm not going to talk down on anyone, but for example, Alex Hormozi tried this, 6 months ago. Same narrative. Dan Martell too. I'm love these guys. I bought one of their courses. They're amazing business mentors. They crush it there. But then they start giving health advice. Dan's pretty good. The only thing that irritated me was, he talks about the counting calories things. There's a new paradigm. Health is evolving. We have to get smarter. Alex Hormozi, same thing. Just count your calories, right? And he's like, nothing else matters besides just counting your calories, which is the greatest lie ever. So here he is buying food that is full of toxins, right? The whole trend of never skip dessert, right? if you want to have brain fog and do this, like, sure, every once in a while I eat dessert. I eat stuff that's not typically healthy. But choose mentors in a field that absolutely embody what it is you're learning, right? And the person that teaches you how to build $1 million business may be very different from the person that teaches you holistic health. If you want to learn true holistic health, go find a legend in the space. Someone like Paul Chek, someone who all the celebrities or professional athletes spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars with other doctors. They don't get their problem solved. They get sicker. So they go to someone like a Paul Chek. These are the healers. These are the people that we should look into and understand true holistic health. Not the people that are really loud on social media or the people that have the reach, right? A lot of the smartest people that are best in their field, not all of them are going to have a massive social media presence. So you have to do some research, some digging. So health, it runs deep. There's many different things that I could dive into. I'm, thought about creating a separate page just about health, which I might do maybe on Instagram. I'm not sure about that. I know the whole strategy on YouTube, if you're trying to create a really successful business, is to one, if you want to be a bigger creator, I want to talk to a lot of people. I want to have a massive impact. So I have my main channel, even if it's just for me in a video journal, cool, God's plan. Even so, broad audience, but then they have the business channel. You see this Iman Ghazi, broad audience channel, business channel, Alex Becker, quite a few different people in the space of marketing, of business, of entrepreneurship, make money online, whatever that is. So health is a big thing. I've thought about creating a separate channel. Maybe I just talk about health on this channel. I'm not sure if I should do that. Maybe I do. I have a lot to say about health while I'm learning it. And this reminds me of a old ancient quote, and it's like, the best way to learn something is to teach it. So after you learn it, be able to teach it, something I wish I did earlier. Now, this is just a quick overview of health. Like I said, there's a lot that goes into it, but if you just follow the basics, do what your ancestors did, go to bed on time, get high quality sleep, eat high quality food, you're 90% of the way there. Drink high quality water, get some sunlight, move your body. You're going to be mostly there. All the other stuff gets you from 90% to 100% healthy, detoxing, etc. But yeah, don't do what most people do. Don't follow most people's advice. Most people are overweight. Most people aren't sick. So figure out what works for you. That's it for this video. Again, much love. I hope you guys crush it. Figure out what works for you. Until next time. If you found value in this, comment what you found most valuable. Comment what you've learned about health recently that's made a big difference. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe.